Hello, I'm Kevin Dolan, Alliance Director for Microsoft's Health and Human Services Industry Unit. Our alliance is comprised of industry-leading partners who are committed to delivering a vision of breaking down silos of government and health and human service delivery that have inhibited access, quality and efficiency, and outcome improvement. And these partners work to deliver frameworks of solutions that, again, help break these down. And today we're joined by one of Microsoft's longtime leading partners, Jim Townsend, InfoStrategies. Also, you'll hear it known as InfoStrat. Welcome to the show, Jim.
Thanks. It's great to be here, Kevin.
And talk to me about, again, how you've chosen Microsoft Dynamics CRM, and maybe talk to us a little bit about the solutions you've built to show the flexibility of the tool.
You bet. Well, as developers, we can choose from any of the products out there in the industry. There are lots of different languages. There are lots of rapid development platforms. The reason we chose Microsoft is that it's widely embraced. There are an awful lot of .NET developers out there, Microsoft's development platform, Visual Studio. It's not a one-off scripting language that's only used in one tool. So it's easy for us to find talent, to cultivate talent, get folks certified as developers, and move them into XRM development from custom development. Mm-hmm. It's widely supported by Microsoft, so our customers get the world-class support that they expect in terms of 24/7 technical support. Third-party tools are very rich for this environment. And you mentioned flexibility. You don't have to stick with a system that doesn't match your business rules. Mm-hmm. One of the challenges of COTS software, that is off-the-shelf software, if it doesn't match your business rules, you sometimes have to change the way you do business to fit the tool. And our customers can't afford to do that. It's not really negotiable whether we comply with government regulations. We have to make the system comply. So we've got the flexibility to customize it, to configure it, and if we need to, we can go into Visual Studio and write custom code for doing complicated back-end integration with legacy systems.
Super. And I think that's a very key point. Obviously, rip and replace is not tenable in this economic environment, and we don't have time to develop long 3 to 5 year cycle programs. So does the tool allow you then to be able to develop and coexist with these legacy siloed back-end programs? Can you move data and relevant information in to the program to give a more complete view of the client served without having to shut down the mainframe system immediately or rip and replace?
Absolutely. Rip and replace is not a viable strategy. It never really has been. What we're trying to do is fill in some of the gaps. So there are systems of record out there that are in production that have mission-critical data, but they just don't provide the user experience that people need. So with CRM, we can fill in those missing pieces of the user experience. We can give a 360-degree view of our interactions with the patient or with the client. So we can track every email, every phone call, every meeting in person with this person, so that we get the full picture of our interaction, which is not true in all of the legacy systems.
And it sounds like you're taking advantage of the existing infrastructure that the government organizations already have set up, whether that's messaging or portals or collaborative tools.
Absolutely. And these systems don't just spring to life immediately. They end up growing organically over years. And as you said, we can't just wave our hand and they all go away and we start with something new. I think that's been a problem for people to try and do that and then end up in an untenable situation.
Yeah. And talk to me a little bit more about, you've used the word framework a few times. Again, we talk about a connected health and human services framework as in service-oriented architecture approach versus rip and replace and custom development of using commercial off-the-shelf software or even modifiable off-the-shelf software. You've used framework and platform when describing Microsoft's Dynamics CRM. Talk a bit more about that.
You bet. Well, there are many kind of standards that help us build solutions faster and also eliminate the risk. One of those standards is coming up with agreed upon data models for sharing information. And that's what I think you were alluding to with some of the healthcare standardization efforts that are underway, is to get everyone to talk using the same words that mean the same thing. Mm-hmm. From a software development point of view, though, We're looking for something more than that. We're looking for a tool that we can use to build what turns out to be a very expensive and time-consuming part of an application, user interface. Mm-hmm. And if I sit down with you and I say, well, what color would you like those fields to be? What font would you like to use? Mm-hmm. I can spend an awful lot of time doing something that really isn't going to make the solution better. Right. Instead, if I build on top of an accepted framework or accepted user interface, like Outlook, mm-hmm. that users know and love, then I can save an awful lot of time in the initial design and also in the implementation. Microsoft also spent millions of dollars on research and development for usability. So we can be confident that it's incorporating already many of the innovations to make it simpler to enter data, to run reports, or even things like integration with Excel, where I can take my records and with the click of one button, push them into Excel to be manipulated, to be graphed, and to be sent into PowerPoint, for instance, for a presentation. Okay.
So it's clear that it sounds to me that not only the government workers, but community-based organizations that could use this tool, if it's a familiar user interface and a more intuitive approach, they could actually be moved across different programs, from maybe communicable disease tracking to health inspections or to trauma registry or other public health or even human service delivered programs. Is that something you're seeing?
Yes, we are. Our customers start with one solution and then it often branches out into multiple solutions. And if you look at it at a little bit higher level of abstraction, what we're talking about here is case management. Mm-hmm. Now, each communicable disease has some unique attributes that need to be tracked. So you can go in and customize that mm-hmm. by adding new attributes, and also you'll want to create new reports. But instead of starting from scratch or ripping and replacing, we're building on top of the user interface and the data model that we're already working with. The other thing we often do is integrate with an existing system. We're not trying to make the mainframe go away. We're just trying to create a more user-friendly experience to get better quality data and be more responsive to changing requirements.
So rapid delivery gives you an efficient use of improving what could be a legacy system written in COBOL or other mainframe application technology. So talk to us lastly about where you see the future. Where are your customers asking for additional functionality on this same platform? Where's the tipping point where they say, we've got this, what's next? What are you hearing?
Well, we've got a long list of items that are on the wish list of all of these agencies. And I think the two things that are the most challenging are, of course, funding. And many of our customers are vying for stimulus funding to help them bring these efforts online, trying to come up with projects that are really ready to go, that can be solved quickly and not over multiple years. And then the second challenge is really time. So I just don't think it's viable today for us to come in with a 5-year plan for making things right. I think we need to be thinking in terms of 90 days, 6 months for making tangible progress in addressing these customer requirements.
Well, that's a good example today of how our technology, our platform is helping serve the needs of our public sector clients and breaking down the silos that inhibited access and quality outcome and delivery and efficient delivery of services. I want to thank Jim Townsend, our guest today. I've known you for over a decade, Jim. You've done great work supporting Microsoft's technologies and our joint customers. Really appreciate what you've done for us, and thank you for sharing your time with us today.
Thank you so much.